Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 5:30.
When we see the numbers rise, we must respond in turn. We must
Governor Kate Brown announces a number of new rules and guidelines to slow the spread of the virus across Oregon. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Mazer. Now, starting this Friday, the rules surrounding coronavirus in Oregon are getting much tighter. Indoor spaces will be limited to 100 people with distancing. This includes restaurants, gyms, movie theaters, and houses of worship. Indoor social get-togethers are still limited to 10 people. Outdoor spaces will stay limited to 250 people with distancing. Bars and restaurants have to close by 10 p.m. instead of midnight. Epidemiologist Dr. Dean Seidlinger says the changes are necessary.
We've avoided the grim experiences of our neighbors in New York, Miami, and Houston. In those places, hospitals have been swamped with COVID-19 admissions, and doctors and nurses have been overwhelmed, forced to make heartbreaking decisions to triage patients into various life-saving treatment. But it's a dark possibility we can still prevent.
So far, the state has seen more than 15,300 cases and 271 deaths. Governor Brown also warned if cases continue to climb, she is considering making anyone traveling to the state from a hotspot quarantine for 14 days. Continuing our coverage now on how schools will handle the pandemic in the fall. Some teachers in the Eugene 4J School District are expressing concern about plans already released by the district. Our Lauren Negretti joins us in the studio. Now, Lauren, a lot of uncertainty tonight.
That's right, Jacqueline. 4J put out their idea for reopening last Friday, involving a hybrid of in-person and online classes. Educators say the how part of the plan still needs clarification.
The 4J School District says the hybrid model would be alternating groups. 1 week on-site, 1 week comprehensive distance learning.
For public health reasons, for that contact tracing and time in between exposure to different students, as well as more time for continuity of instruction.
Families can also choose all comprehensive distance learning or a separate Eugene Online Academy. The Eugene Education Association President Sabrina Gordon says the initial plan was created by 4J administration.
It did not involve the voice of educators.
Gordon says educators are talking with 4J now, and union work groups are developing to work on ideas for the district.
There's a lot of anxiety right now and concern amongst teachers.
She says there's a lot of unanswered questions surrounding layout for physical distancing and staff for maintaining health and safety regulations.
Equipment and all the necessary materials and supplies, sanitizing and face shields and face masks.
Delph says there will be significant public health protocols, including hand washing, face coverings for staff and students,
Restriction on visitors, restrictions on how close students can be to each other in classrooms and on school buses.
For now, Gordon says teachers want to focus on building a robust distance learning to start the year.
Until we have those resources and plans in place, many teachers don't feel like it's wise to bring students in for in-person learning yet.
Delph says as the district develops the framework, they're keeping teachers and union leadership informed, and more details are still to come.
As for the schedule, comprehensive distance learning for most starts September 14th. There could be a small group, including kindergartners and first graders on campus. In-person teaching could start as early as mid-October, depending on where we are handling the coronavirus. The 4J School District has more information on reopening and selecting 4J students' learning options on their website.
All right, thanks for that report, Lauren. A lot of information. Well, on the coast now, school districts put out a draft of their reopening plans. Families in the North Bend School District will choose from a hybrid schedule or an all-online model. In the hybrid model, students will attend school 4 days a week, and the days they attend depend on the time and session the student is signed up for. The superintendent says in the spring, online schooling will be more effective with some in-person learning made available.
I think all of these plans still have issues. We know that the most effective will be kids with us and all day long. We're going to hope to move to that eventually.
The Coos Bay School District drafted a similar plan. The difference is when children head to school. For Coos Bay, all students will attend 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, either in the morning or in the afternoon.
We realize that not everybody is is in the same place. Not everybody's in the same mindset as far as coming back to school in the fall. So we want to be able to have options for everybody.
New guidance from the state requires face masks for all students from kindergarten and up. Districts will need to adjust their draft plans before they go to the state next month. While all Coos County school district plans vary, parents should keep in mind they will continue to evolve over the next couple weeks. Well, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is expected to protest the downtown zone in downtown Portland. Now, there's now a barrier in front of the federal courthouse after protesters breached the west side doors and set fires overnight. Portland police say federal officers started using crowd control munitions around 11:30 p.m. to try and break up the crowd. Police say they did not engage the crowd or make any arrests. Police say protesters tried to start a fire outside the federal building, block people inside with pieces of a fence, and they did start a fire in Lonsdale Square that prompted federal officers to use another round of crowd control munitions just before 2 a.m. Mayor Wheeler says the city of Portland is looking at taking legal action against the federal government. Well, Senator Jeff Merkley, along with Senator Ron Wyden and Representatives Earl Blumenauer and Suzanne Bonamici, have formally requested an investigation into the federal forces currently deployed in Portland. They're asking the Office of Inspector General of both the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security to investigate the tactics used by federal agents, among other items. This follows legislation introduced earlier this week to block the use of federal paramilitary officers in Portland and other cities. We spoke with Senator Merkley on where the legal line of authority between state and federal exists.
The lawyers really are going to be sorting that out. It's certainly an understanding that defending a federal property in the immediate perimeter it can be a federal mission. But when you start deploying police throughout a city without a governor or without a mayor, you're in very dangerous territory. There are conflicting views about the legality. What I know is it's simply wrong.
The senator admits there has been a struggle with conflict in Portland and other cities, but feels local police have developed more experience in dealing with those situations. The driver accused of hitting protesters on I-5 in Seattle, killing one of them, entered a plea in court this morning. DeWitt Kalite pleaded not guilty to charges of vehicular homicide and reckless driving during a brief court hearing. Tragedy hit in Sweet Home this week when a jet skier lost control and crashed into a designated swimming area, severely injuring two 6-year-olds. Our Kelsey Christensen paid a visit to the community today to see how they're pulling together for support.
This community has dealt with several tragic accidents even just this year, and once again, this town is rallying together to support its families during a tragic time.
Zach Maynard and Kennedy Swenson seem to be two very good friends.
They seem to spend a lot of time together.
And according to their GoFundMe pages, they were at the lake together when a jet ski crashed into their swimming area on Monday, sending them both to the hospital with serious injuries.
I just knew in my heart that it was going to be one of our own. And it wasn't just one, it was two of them.
Nelia Tarosky says the two young kids went to Little Promises together. She says Kennedy is a beautiful little girl.
And her eyes are, just brighten the day.
And Zach, well behaved.
Smart little boy, both of them sweet kids.
She says the teachers at Little Promises are working to come up with a fundraiser amid the pandemic.
And I think on a situation like this, it merits for all of us coming together.
On the other side of town, EMT firefighter and owner of Sweet Things Boutique, Cassie Ritchie, responded to the scene of the crash.
We landed the helicopter at Lewis Creek for Zach. Well, as a mom myself with kids the same age, I had to kind of compose myself.
To help ease the financial burden, she started a raffle.
Just put the word out that I was going to do that, and the support has been amazing. Like this morning I woke up to all kinds of messages from people I don't know.
But both families are doing a really great job on updating their Facebook. We don't want to overwhelm them, so we try just to stay on the background a little bit and just pray them through it.
Reporting in Sweet Home, I'm Kelsey Christensen.
All right, Kelsey, glad to hear the community's coming together. Thank you. Now, the Linn County Sheriff's Office is investigating the crash. Legacy Emmanuel Medical Center confirms Zach Maynard remains in critical condition. Kennedy Swenson's GoFundMe says she is stable, but is suffering from a broken jaw. If you would like to donate to the children's families, we have those links on our website at NBC16.com. Well, the silence is deafening for the music and live entertainment industries, all hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in hardship for many Eugene-based musicians and nonprofits. NBC 16's Tom Adams joins us live with how the business is trying to find some harmony in tough times. Tom.
Well, Jacqueline, the show must go on someday. That is the refrain from musicians and Eugene area music nonprofits, all trying to hang on through these uncertain times created by the pandemic.
Live music performed in front of real people. It's been in extremely short supply since the middle of March. That's when COVID-19 people gathering restrictions in Oregon went into place.
Our whole philosophy is book and rebook again.
The bleak spring and summer has created all kinds of disharmony.
Let me get my
No Oregon Bach Festival for the first time in decades. The Eugene Symphony postponed the rest of its current season. And at the Shedd Institute for the Arts, the last live music program was on March 12th.
It's hard for everybody because, of course, as an artist told me this morning, I feel like my entire career has completely disintegrated.
Manager Jim Ralph tells me 51 spring performances were rebooked to next year. Performances for the summer have been scrubbed or rescheduled. For professional saxophonist Paul Biondi, the impact of the pandemic has been a schedule killer.
Well, all the gigs got canceled immediately. Everything that had anything that was coming, it all got changed up.
Biondi is finding musical opportunity and fulfillment as part of the music team at Unity of the Valley Church. Most community ensembles are also shut down. That includes the group that I make music with, the Eugene Symphonic Band.
You can't social distance a 65-member ensemble in a single rehearsal room. It doesn't work. No rehearsals, no performances.
So until this COVID cloud flattens or goes away, Paul Biondi says your favorite local musicians could sure use some encouragement.
Send them an email, send them a note, give them a phone call. They're out there and they're ready to go.
And updating the story late today, the Eugene Symphony Association issued a news release late today stating that they are still trying to work out the plans on how to move forward for next season. The officials say the 4 springtime concerts that the symphony had to postpone, those will be shifted to the 2020-21 season. Exact dates are not known, but sad to say the symphony's traditional summer concerts in Eugene, Cottage Grove, and Roseburg, those 3 are canceled.
All right, Tom, thanks for that report tonight. Well, coming up on your only local news at 5:30, the National Guard is ready to tackle wildfire season, how their recent trainings were made possible. And when we're not on air, we continue to bring you the latest developments on our website, NBC16.com, and on our Facebook page at KMTR News. You can also download our KMTR News app on your phone for free. We'll be back after the break.